So there was like 60% scripted and 40 improvised.
Specifically, so like anytime I'm with Bart, David Anders, so the him and I, he's one of these. He's always cast as the bad guy in everything that he does, right? So he's the bad guy in iZombie. He's the bad guy in Alias. He's the bad guy on Heroes. Like, he's just like, you know, I guess maybe he was a good guy in Heroes. But regardless, he always plays this British bad guy. And this was one of the first times that he got to be the good guy. And also, this was one of the first times that he really got to just speak with his own American accent. Because usually he does this British accent. And I could tell David, David loves to do comedy. So I do a web series called Dadholes about what dads say when moms
spectacular
are listening. Thank you. And so David is one of the Dadholes with me, and that is one of the favorite things. David is always texting me, when can we shoot more Dadholes? When can we do more Dadholes? Because David is funny and doesn't get to be funny a lot. So in The Revenant, he got to be funny, and he loved. All right, so sorry. Right. So David got to be funny and loved improvising with me, and Carrie gave us a broad net to do it. So the scenes specifically with David and I, yes, I would say like 60% scripted, 40% improvised, maybe 65-35. Some scenes more than others. I do know that the gangbanger who's like shaved head, who comes back from the dead and like throws me up against a chain link fence, whatever, and they chop my head off. That actor, dude, like, did not take anything off of any of the roughing me up performance. I was like, Miguel, bro, take it easy, man. Like, this is pretend, you know that, right? Like, he kept like throwing me up against a chain link fence like during rehearsal. I was like, bro, this is rehearsal. Like, take it fucking easy. Like, when the camera goes, you can fucking do your, like, method shit. But, like, stop physically hurting me, okay? So in that scene where he's, like, throwing me up and I'm, like, freaking out, like, I legitimately was angry and scared and pissed and all of those things. Because this motherfucker was not taking anything off of his performance. I was like, thank God he doesn't hit me, because he probably would have fucking really hit me. And he's obviously stronger than me, and I'm like a fucking pussy. I'm not going to fight anybody.
You hate fighting. You don't like it at all.
Oh, dude, I'm funny. Funny people get out of fights. They just, you know, they roll a joint and everybody just chill out.
Man, I wanted to ask you, man, well, Dadholes, today I saw one episode that is, that he is in.
Yeah.
And he's smoking a cigarette, and man, it's really fun, man. That is really fun. How did you come up with the idea? Like, you have a son?
Yeah, my son, when I first started doing Dadholes, my son was in his terrible twos. And I just actually spent the weekend with my niece who's in her terrible twos. And she was frustrating my son, who's 9. I mean, my son loves this girl. She's the sun and the moon to my kid. But she's a 2-year-old, and 2-year-olds are a fucking pain in the ass, man. They're adorable, and they are so loving, but they also can turn on a fucking dime. Their brains aren't fully functioned. They're complete assholes. They are bipolar assholes at that age. And so my son was a 2-year-old bipolar asshole, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to, like, vent this. I was so frustrated. I was just so pent up with what was going on in my personal life, because this 2-year-old was like dictating every decision that we made as a family. So I kind of, like, you know, vented it on paper. And so me and my buddy Daryl, who plays the Black Dadhole, we got to, he and I met doing a commercial for, I don't know, some cell phone company, where like we did like 3 or 4 commercials on a basketball, outdoor basketball court. And he and I really got along well. And so we would go to Clippers games together, the basketball team here in LA that isn't the Lakers. So we would go to a lot of Clippers games together and became really fast friends. And so my wife was saying, you know, you really should do something with Daryl. You guys have a really good chemistry together. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So once I vented all this like frustration of being the dad of a 2-year-old, her, I go, oh my gosh, Daryl will be the perfect foil for me to bounce my, comedy off of. And so we shot 2 of them. And then for the third one, I said, okay, it's now the third one. I want to introduce a third dad hole who has 3 kids, because I went to this farmer's market and I saw this Asian mom pushing a stroller with 3 babies in it. And I was like, oh my God, triplets. And she's like, parents are so weirdly honest to each other when they see each other out and about, because they're so excited to talk to adults. And then you can be kind of honest with a stranger, I think, even sometimes more so than with someone you really know. So she was like, I was having fertility issues. So we like artificially inseminated. And the doctor told me, let's do 3 just to be safe in case 1 doesn't make it or 2 don't make it. And then all of them made it. And I was like, oh my God. So this woman had like 3 babies. So I kind of stayed in my brain. I was like, I want to do a dad hole. Who's like, I met the mom and she was like, she did okay. She was really nice, but like I could see like how taxing having 3 infants was. And I go, that's the mom. What's the fucking dad like? I bet he doesn't give a fuck. So like that's how the David Anders character came about. I was like, what's the father of fucking triplets like? So that was like, he gives less than 0 fucks. He smokes cigarettes at the park. He just like screams obscenities. He doesn't give a shit. So that's where David came in to play. And he like, just, we shot 1. And like I said, after we shot it, I think he had just started iZombie at the time, and they shot that up in Vancouver. So anytime he was back in LA, he was hitting me up on text, like, let's shoot another Dadholes. Let's shoot another Dadholes. Let's shoot another Dadholes. So we ended up doing like 5 or 6 of them with David. I've done almost every one with Daryl. And Daryl is, he's on that show Barry on HBO. And then he is doing a movie about the real Black Panthers, not the superhero Black Panther, the movie about the forming of the Black Panthers. Daryl's going to be in, and he's also in that Jamie Foxx movie, Just Mercy. He's really wonderful in that movie, so check that out. But yeah, Daryl, those guys are honestly like Daryl, Britt Gibson, and David Anders are probably my 2 most talented actor friends. So I just love getting the chance to work with those guys. So David and I met on The Revenant, and we've done a bunch of stuff together. And he just came down to the beach. He wants me to teach him how to surf. I think him on a surfboard is a bad idea. You're gonna read about it, like actor drowns. I'm just like TV's David Anders drowns in Pacific Ocean. I know that's gonna be a headline. But anyway, maybe I'll teach him how to surf one day.